Hello, welcome back to the stream. How's everyone doing? Welcome Trublub, welcome Insane, Shuba. Glad to see you all and everyone else that's here as well. So today we're going to be working on my Ludum Dare 53 Game Jam entry. And we'll see how this goes. My mic arm broke, so I've kind of got this like precariously balanced, so hopefully we don't have any problems with that. Cool. Hello, Sukiri. Welcome. All right, so let me give you an idea of what's all going on with the game currently. And I just realized that I need to up this scale real quick. So the theme for the Ludum Dare 53 is delivery. And so my idea is that this will be familiar to people who have seen Smack Demon. I don't know what my fascination is with little knight characters and little demon characters is, but the idea is that you'll play as this paladin knight, and you will have to take these demons and deliver them back into hell. So there will be a pit in this world, I guess you could say, where you have to throw the demons down into it. Now, the way that that's going to happen is, if I go ahead and play this, the way that that's going to happen is you're going to run up to the demons, and then you're going to uppercut them, send them flying up into the air, and then you'll have to, while they're airborne, smack them into either another demon or into the ground to knock them out. And then once they're knocked out, you're going to be able to pick them up, and then you'll have to run over to the pit and toss them down. So the idea is that it's going to be like a frantic sort of, beat 'em up kind of game. And maybe we'll introduce some elements of like Vampire Survivors where, every time you put a demon into the pit, it increases your experience, and then once you level up, you'll get some kind of upgrade. I don't know exactly what shape the game is going to take yet. I'm going to focus on getting the combat right, and then I'll figure out what sort of meta system that I want to put over top of that. So, obviously there's not much here, but today's stream we're going to be working on getting the combat in decent shape. So that's what we're going to do. How long have you been working with Godot game dev in general? I've been working with Godot since 2019, and game dev since it's been a hobby of mine since I was like 14, so 14 years, just about. So quite a long time. It's only in recent years, though, that I've started getting actually better at it. Most of my games for that 14 years were just fooling around. That's a neat idea. Thank you, Trublub. All right. So let's get this working. So, and apologies if this is a little bit too small to see. I might play with the window resolution as well. But so what I have going on here is I've got the player, and the player is composed of a bunch of different parts here. So we've got like the various body parts, animating him cutout style like I usually do. Saves a bunch of time and looks pretty decent. Then I've got this area. This is the uppercut area. So this is the area 2D that's actually going to detect enemies and send them flying up in the air. So we're going to have to figure out how we're going to do this. Now, I have this set up so that the uppercut area detects the enemies, but I might actually reverse this so that the enemies are detecting the uppercut area. So I'm going to flip that layer there. Then I'm going to open up my demon. Do you like how goofy the demon is with his little eyes. Okay, so this area, we're going to change this to be a mask of enemy hurt box. And then we're going to open up the script here. So let's do this. And I am using GD script for this. The reason being because there's some crashiness with C# and I don't want that to affect the rating or anything. So using the more reliable GD script for this one. So we're going to assign the area 2D, and then we're going to have to, in the ready method here, we're going to say, what are we going to say? Area dot area entered dot connect on area entered. Let's do an on area entered function, and we're going to have another area. Okay. And so what this is going to have to do is this is going to have to, oh, you know what? I need to change this to a character body 2D. Extends character body 2D. Okay. So on area entered, we want to say velocity.y is equal to, let's just put in a random number here. And then in the process method, we're going to call move and slide, and we also need to add gravity. So velocity.y plus equals, I'll get rid of these magic numbers in a little bit, but for now, we're just gonna see if this works. So yeah, so when I hit the enemy, I should see him fly up into the air, hopefully. Oh, there he goes. Classic. Let's see. He needs to look for the terrain, although that should be working. Maybe he's not positioned correctly for that. Why are you falling through the floor, sir? Do I not have this set correctly? Layer, terrain, mask, terrain. That's correct. Oh, I didn't add a collision shape. That would have helped. So I'll add a rectangle shape, and then let's just go ahead and just throw something on there. That's fine. Okay, which means I probably don't need him to be all the way up there. Oh, look at that. Haha. That's not exactly what I wanted, but it's working. Will you create any course of Godot using C# in the future? Yes. Yes, Himanshu, in the future. Not before Gunforged is released, though. I didn't know GDScript is allowing semicolons. Did I put a semicolon somewhere? Oh, I did. Force of habit. Yeah, it does allow it, but I don't think you're supposed to use it. Hello, Marcia. Does it have practical purpose besides being able to use multiple statements in the same line? I don't know, honestly. That was just me automatically putting semicolon at the end of the line because of C#. What is this? This is my Ludum Dare 53 entry. I would recommend going back to the beginning of the live stream. I think you can play it to get an overview of what the idea is. Okay, so by the way, is the audio okay? And welcome to the stream, by the way, Laser Dude. Glad to have you. Let me know if the audio is okay. All right, so the problem is that for some reason, I'm trying to disable the uppercut area when the player's not jumping, but I'm using this monitoring, so maybe I need to change this to monitorable. Somebody in my course taught me about that trick to disable area 2Ds, and I'm trying to apply it here, but I don't know if I'm doing it correctly. Audio is all right? Good. Audio is good. Good, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna stop being fancy. On ready var uppercut shape. Uppercut area collision shape 2D. And we're just going to, in here, uppercut shape dot disabled is equal to true. Okay, and then we're going to scroll down. I don't think we need to listen for that uppercut here anymore either. Uppercut shape dot disabled is equal to false. Can I duplicate a line? Okay. And then this is true. Let's see if that works. There we go. So, when I jump, it sends him up into the air. Probably too much. But the idea is that you'll send him up into the air and then you'll be able to like punch him or something to throw him down into the ground or to something else. So I'm probably going to need to play with like slowing down the engine time so that the player can actually aim. And certainly the player's going to have to jump higher than the demon to be able to hit him. So let's see. I might have to play with different gravity levels for him too. So like if they fall slower, so if I say let's turn down the gravity a little bit. So if they fall slower, I'm gonna have more time to hit them. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a lot of play testing with this to make it feel good, but let's just get the basics in place. Okay, so I want to also do a hit stop so that there's a little bit more impact, but one thing at a time. The more important thing to do now is to get the player punch working. And how do I want that to work? Let's see. Let's create an input map first for the punch action. We'll make it a left mouse button, all devices. Okay. So let's duplicate this, and we're going to call this a punch area. And this one is going to have to be a little bit more directed, I think. Yeah, I think what I want to do is make it like rotated. So what I'll do is I'll rotate it based on which direction you're punching. And that will work just fine. Hello, Sammy Tim Gaming. Hello, Daniel. Thank you for the export tool. You're welcome. What's the theme? The theme is delivery. Welcome, Light. Welcome, what is that? DCQYD. Welcome. Yeah, the theme, it wasn't my favorite theme, but I'm taking a different, so I brainstormed a bunch of ideas, and then I'm taking an idea that I really liked, and I just kind of like modified it a little bit to fit the theme. So that's usually what I do. I actually have a Game Jam tips video on this channel if you want to watch that. One of the tips in there is build the game that you want to make, even if it doesn't fit the theme that well. Because you'd be surprised at what you can get away with in terms of like ignoring the theme. So here's the punch area. We're probably going to need either another collision layer or do some kind of check. Let's just use another collision layer. Enemy, hurt box, alternate. Maybe that's not a good idea. The problem is I don't know how to differentiate between the uppercut area and the punch area. So when the demon comes into contact with the uppercut area, it's setting the velocity up, but that obviously shouldn't happen with the punch area, right? So there needs to be a separate, I'm just going to duplicate it. I don't really care about being super efficient here, so I'm actually just going to duplicate this area. So I'm going to say uppercut area, like that. Duplicate it. We'll call this punch area. They can even just be the same collision shapes. Should they be the same collision shapes? Sure. We'll make them the same collision shape, and we'll change the mask. This needs to change to uppercut area. And then this is uppercut area. And we'll rename this to on uppercut area entered. Cool. All right, let's do another onReady variable. Var punch area of type area2D equals punch area. We're going to connect that to the area entered. Punch area entered. Sweet. On punch area entered. And what do we want to do here? So we're going to take the, actually, I don't want this to be disregarded. So let's take the rotation of the other area. And that's going to determine which direction we go in, right? So we'll take the rotation, then we're going to say var direction is equal to vector2 dot right dot rotated rotation. So that's going to send me in the direction that I need to go. And then what we can do is we can say velocity is equal to direction times, let's just do something obvious like 200. And let's play that and see what happens. Oh, goodbye. I mean, it worked, but I have to disable this. onReady. Do I even need this? Yeah, I don't need this anymore. So I'm going to get rid of that. onReady var punch shape collision shape 2D is equal to punch area collision shape 2D. What's up, Karthik? First thing I thought of was some sort of survival game with a mailman. That'd be kind of funny. That'd be kind of funny. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of mail themes, like the delivery, you know, it's somewhat, you know, obvious in terms of the themes that you immediately think of. So I'm hoping that mine's a little bit different because you're delivering demons to hell instead of packages. Okay, so this punch area needs to be disabled. So we're going to disable the punch shape. So when airborne, did I not? Oh, got to name that correctly. So I have a couple of states here. So when I'm airborne, got to handle this. So let's say if input.isAction just pressed. This is going to require some work, but we're just going to get it working. Punch shape dot disabled equals false. Then we're going to rotate the punch area. So I actually do need to grab the reference to the punch area. onReady var punch area area2D is equal to punch area. All right, go back down. Where is it? Here it is. So punch area dot rotation is equal to, it would be equal to the punch area dot global position we're going to do the get global mouse position minus that. So get global mouse position minus that. And then this all needs to be in parentheses dot angle. So we're angling the rotation of the punch area in the direction of the mouse. And then we need to set a timer. So get tree dot create timer 0.1 seconds. So we're going to say timer dot connect, or no, timer dot timeout dot connect. Is that right? Did I completely forget how to do? No, that's right. Timer dot timeout dot connect on punch timer timeout. So we'll create that function, and then we need to say punch shape dot disabled is equal to true. Alrighty then. So now I shouldn't be able to punch him unless I'm airborne. Okay. Obviously a lot of work to do here, but so I can punch him in that direction. No, come back. Okay, so it's getting there. Okay, so yeah, the thing is, it's going to be very difficult, I think, to make this feel good to play. But we'll figure it out. So what's the next best thing to do here? Probably add some sort of state machine to the enemy here. So I've got this state machine. Kind of tempted to abstract this state machine out, but I'm not going to do that just yet. We're going to create a new state here. We're going to basically just copy all this state stuff. So the process method, right, and then we're going to rename this to state normal. And then we need a state airborne. This is basically going to be the same code as the state normal. And then if is on floor, we're going to call, there's a change state in here, right? Yeah, here. So we'll call change state to state airborne. Or sorry, state normal. So if we're on the floor, we're going to change into the normal state. And then I need to grab delta here. All right, what am I missing here? What am I missing? I think that's it. So the other benefit is in state normal, what I can say is if not is on floor, then I can change to the state airborne. I think that should do it. So when I'm on the ground, I can do a velocity.x is equal to lerp velocity.x to 0, and then let's do 1 minus x negative 20 times delta. Is that gonna work? Did I copy and paste everything correctly? All right, yeah. So now it's decelerating. Nice. So yeah, I think what's going to happen is that if you hold down the left mouse button, I think what will happen is it will slow down time, and then you'll be able to aim your punch. So that way you have more control over what's going on. Oh, hello. Let's add another guy. Okay, I think the punch probably just needs to be a little bit, well, I mean, there's no sense in worrying about the exact numbers. We just got to get the gameplay feeling okay. But I think I will. Well, this will stay negative 200, and then when you get punched, 300. So you can imagine a bunch of punch effects and everything slamming into the ground. And then when they get knocked out, you'll pick them up and throw them back in the pit of hell. Hello, Zyjin. Yes, it's me. Do I use GDScript for game jams and C# for my games? Yeah, I usually use C# for game jams too, but sometimes I switch it up and use GDScript. Particularly if I'm working with another person, I'll use GDScript just because it's easier for them to not have to set up like all the C# development stuff, you know? So then when you're punching things, it's also going to be possible to punch them into other enemies. So you can like get chain knockouts and stuff. Okay, so what needs to happen now is I'm going to commit this actually. So let's work on the feel a little bit and see if we can get closer to kind of what I've got in mind for the gameplay. So when the punch is pressed, so instead of is action just pressed right here, we're going to say if input dot is action. What am I doing? Is action pressed, punch. Then what we're going to do is we're just going to say engine dot time scale is equal to 0.3. So engine time scale is equal to 0.3. If input dot is action just released, punch, then we're going to get rid of this statement, and we're going to say engine.timescale is equal to 1. Probably introduce some lerping here so that it's not just immediately going, but let's see. Bam! Haha! Okay. That feels much better, so you can knock them up and then take the time that you need to aim. I might even knock the time scale down even more. That feels a little slow. All right, 0.25. Oh, yeah. Okay. Now, the problem is that after I hit the ground, it stays slow. So that'll have to be fixed. Oh, yeah. Okay. This is, yeah, just with that addition alone, I'm really seeing how this is going to work now. Oh, you could do like trick shots into the pit of hell. All right, all right. That one thing is making this game become a lot clearer now. Can I get an okay hand in the chat? Can you punch them up into the air? So maybe. I have to figure out how the game feels. My initial idea is that you're not going to be able to punch unless you are airborne. So you're going to be limited in terms of your combat ability while you're on the ground. If that doesn't feel good to play, then I will probably change that. But that's how I'm going to initially approach it. I just got done instructing some Unity folks through some Godot C# development for a game jam, and I forgot how much setup there is. Yeah, it's not the easiest thing to set up, or at least it's not the most straightforward thing to set up. If you're not a developer, if you're just getting started, it can be very frustrating to get a development environment set up properly. Also, I was just thinking about slow motion Godot. Yeah, it's really easy. I love it. Thank you for the OK hand, Trublub. Okay. So what's the next thing to do? I really want to start working on like effects and stuff, but I probably need to work on the enemy actually getting knocked out. So the demon here. So state airborne. Do I want to change the state to airborne here? I probably want another state that's not just airborne. I probably want state punched. But I'm not going to think that far ahead just yet. So we're going to say, let's create a new child node called, we're going to call this one just visuals. We're going to put the sprite 2D underneath that. I'm going to say onReady var visuals node 2D is equal to visuals. Slow motion is definitely the move. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so we're going to say visuals.rotation is equal to velocity.angle. So we're going to angle the demon in the direction of where he's flying. And then when we enter state normal, we're going to say leave state airborne. And then when we leave the state airborne, we're going to say, what are we going to say? Visuals.rotation is equal to 0. So we just got to reset that value. How does that look? Oh. So yeah, I'm going to need a different... Also, that rotation is just wrong. So what I might need to do instead is visuals.rotation is equal to lerp angle visuals.rotation to velocity.angle plus rad gd, wait, rad to deg, deg to rad 90. Okay, let's see if that lerping does the angle a little bit better. Oh, yes. Look at him. All right. Probably could make this a little bit higher in terms of the smoothing. Okay, so there's a little bit of an issue with snapping back. So I'm going to have to figure out how to deal with that, but that's kind of just like what I'm going for here. It already looks really fun, honestly. Thank you. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to diving into the effects and whatnot. So yeah, jumping does the uppercut. I think I'll probably just keep that. There will probably be attacks and whatnot that you have to dodge as well. Also, I probably don't want this being perfectly uniform in terms of the heights and stuff, because that's kind of awkward. Like if you punch a pack of them, they should all be kind of like staggered differently. All right, let's work on the knockout state then. So the knockout state basically needs to happen when they impact something after a punch. So I think I will need a... I need an airborne state and a punched state. So funk, state, punched. We're basically just going to take this and copy it over. And I probably should put the gravity in place here. Gravity equals 400. We're going to stop using magic numbers. Probably don't need that there. So in the airborne state, there's going to be no rotation. It's just going to be straight gravity, but when it's punched, this is where it's going to go into the state knockout. So let's create a knockout state. Oh, and before I do that, on punch, so here, right, changing the velocity, and then we're going to say change state to state punched. Okay. Why is this broken? Oh, state knockout is not declared. Okay. Func state knockout. So in here, what we're basically going to do is we're just going to say visuals.rotation is equal to rad to deg 90. All of this is going to have to be adjusted, but we'll just deal with it. And then we basically just want to do what the state normal is here. Okay. Well, it looks a little awkward, but why are they so far into the ground? Oh, you know what? Why? So the problem is that I'm rotating the visuals separately from the hitbox. And so when the visuals rotate like this is the actual hitbox. I'm very hesitant to rotate the hitbox itself because that's just, I'm sure that's going to cause all kinds of issues for me. So I think the simpler thing to do is to create a secondary collision shape, which is like a knockout collision shape. And I'll just make sure that it's disabled to start. But it's going to be sort of an inverse here. Like that. So let's do this. On ready var default shape. Collision shape 2D is equal to collision shape 2D at on ready var knockout shape. I don't have any idea if this is going to work, but we're going to try it. Okay. Let's see if that works. Still not working. Oh, because is it still the same problem? I think I'm just being a little bit dumb here. I think it's just still the same problem, right? Because when I rotate like that, yeah. So actually the visuals just need to be set like this, basically. Okay. Maybe I did that all for nothing. Godot 4 is stable for small games. Yes, I think so. I think so, Marcos. What is the idea for the game? So the theme is delivery. You can watch the beginning of the live stream to get a more in-depth explanation, but basically you're going to be delivering demons back into hell by knocking them out and then throwing them into a pit. So I guess maybe I didn't even need to do that. Maybe I should change the pivot offset of the sprite, so that way it's better for rotating. So if I put the sprite pivot offset like there, and then move it up, when I rotate it now, it'll be like that. So maybe I could even do this instead, like that, and then when I rotate, it's a little bit hacky, I guess, but if it works, a little bit offset. Well, we could try that. So I'm not going to be able to rotate the visuals. Oops, what did I just do? Deleted them. Okay. So on ready, var, sprite. I don't think I need this knockout shape. I'm going to get rid of that. So on ready, var, sprite equals visuals / sprite 2D. Okay. Is that going to work? Okay, that's better. That's better. I think the visual rotation is still not set properly. Oh no, I guess it's fine. Why does that look weird? It looks like it's not rotated correctly. Sprite.rotation. Did I accidentally save a rotation here? I guess it doesn't matter. I guess it doesn't matter. Not worth thinking about too hard. Yeah, all right. There is a little bit of flicker here. I'll figure all that out later. Let's get some actual combat stuff working. Okay, probably shouldn't be able to knock the knocked out guys back into the air. Okay, that's feeling pretty good though. All right, let's commit that. All right, so what's next? What's next? What's next? This is the problem with game jams. There's so much work to do that you sometimes just don't know where to go next. Probably should get the main mechanic of like picking them up and throwing them into the pit working. So let's do a pickup mechanic. Hopefully that's not too difficult. So what are we gonna do for pickup here? what should the pickup button be? So we've already got space, which is jump, left click, which is maybe just like right click to pick up or something. Unless I'm going to use that for something else. Let's see. Facecam GD script, is this still the same Firebelly account? It is. It is I. Yeah, I mean, I only just started with the Facecam recently, so y'all can look at me. Everyone hyped. Oh, wait, let's see. Did planning make games with... No, I'm barely good enough at pixel art, so I'm probably not going to change art mediums anytime soon. Everyone hyped in Ludum Dare, really nice to see. Yes, for sure. Did your last jam with a team of 5. How did that go? Right mouse button. Yeah, I'll probably start with the right mouse button. What is the theme? The theme is delivery, MM. Good morning, Nuss Syndrome. What are we making? We're making a game where we deliver demons to hell for Ludum Dare 53. By the way, for everyone watching, I have a Udemy course. The link for that is in the description. You'll learn how to make a complete 2D Survivors-like game in the Godot engine, so check that out if you're interested. All right, so let's get a pickup state going. So right mouse button. Let's first things first. Oh man, I'm getting sort of like choice paralysis. There's so much to do. All right, let's just do pickup and right mouse button. Okay, we'll keep that for now. So in state normal, I want to create a state carrying. So let's create a state carrying. State carrying is going to be the typical movement stuff, but we're not going to be able to jump while we're carrying something. Maybe we should. Yeah, might as well just copy. I'll clean up this code later. So state carrying, what's going to happen? So let's create a carry position here. So let's create a child node. Actually, we could do a remote transform 2D probably. Do I want to do that? Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna make a marker 2D. I don't want to deal with that right now. Okay, so we've got the carry marker. So when we're in this state normal, we want to do this. If input dot is action just pressed, and this is going to be pickup, then what are we going to do? We need to have a way of detecting, of picking up an enemy that's right under the player. So probably we'll just should I just use another area? I might as well just use another area, right? So pickup area, we're going to make this unique. And it is the same layer. Cool. So here, we're just going to make this a little bit smaller and probably extend it down a little bit. Okay, so there's our pickup area. Pickup area, okay. So what are we gonna do here? Pickup area dot get overlapping areas. So var areas is equal to pickup area get overlapping areas dot find. Can I supply like a... Can I do this? Oh, I can do that. Can I? Or maybe that's not going to work. Filter. Oops. Oh, yeah. Well, I suppose I can filter. I just like to do this for... Well, okay, I'm not going to... for safety reasons, I like to filter just to make sure that I'm getting down to... like doing some validation where I'm only getting the valid areas, but I'll worry about that later. If areas dot size is greater than 0, then we're going to say var enemy is equal to areas 0 dot owner, and then I'm going to say yeah, let's do this. We got to create another variable up here. We'll call it held enemy node 2D. Where am I at? Right, so we're going to say held enemy here. And then we're going to call change state. I'm gonna move this if a little bit, because if I call, well, I guess that wouldn't have been a problem. Yeah, never mind. There's a potential for a bug here, but I'll address that. Oh, getting lost in all this complexity here. Okay, what? Change state to state carrying. Cool. And then while we're in the state carrying, we're going to say held enemy is equal to, let's grab a reference to the carry marker. Okay. Let's see. Awesome gameplay concept. Thank you. Zygen, it went okay. Most of the team is pretty inexperienced. Okay, I gotcha. So an inexperienced team of 5. Yeah, I can imagine that probably difficult. Everyone was new to Godot, and it went pretty well. Good. You prefer working in teams on jams rather than solo. That's good, yeah. It's good that you learned that. Does make unique do anything for Godot C#? Haven't actually used it. Yeah, you can use... like in C# you can do get node and then in quotes % and then whatever area 2D. So that's how you can use the unique in C#. How long have you been using Godot for? Since 2019. Saker XD. So the held enemy is going to, we're going to say global position is equal to carry marker dot global position. This is probably going to be terrible, but we're going to call, well, first we should probably do this. If not is instance valid held enemy, then we're going to change state to state normal. Else, we're going to update that. And then if we're not on the floor, ooh, this is going to be difficult. Well, let's just see what we're doing here. Oh, I can't use the same layer here. Do I need to create another area? Okay, we're gonna do that. I'm sure there's a better way to be doing this, but this is the quicker way. So, uppercut area. Let's make this unique. We're gonna call this one a pickup area. It's the name of the game with game jams, is you just kind of gotta throw something together and then hope it works. I'm not gonna take too much time to make sure that this is architected well. So this needs to exist on the enemy pickup layer. And then this one, this pickup area needs to exist on the enemy pickup mask. Okay. Let's see how that looks. All right, I picked up an enemy. Yo, where are we going? Why is that happening? I'm realizing that you can kind of game this where you can press jump and punch at the same time down into the ground. So I might have to do some other kind of gameplay incentives for doing something different. So knockout, pick up, and then throw them in the pit. So the problem is in the airborne state, so here's what the tricky thing is. I don't want to get into a position where I have to duplicate all of my states because I'm holding an enemy. But that's kind of what's happening here. So I'm just not sure what to do. Additionally, in the demon here, the demon is still running all this state code. So resetting the demon's global position every frame is probably interfering with a lot of this state here. So I need to think about what I want to do here. Do I just want to create a separate scene for the demon or change the demon, maybe the knockout state? Where's the knockout state? So state knockout, maybe yeah, maybe I get rid of this. Well, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of complexity here I gotta think about. Any reason you're using GDScript today and not C#? Yeah, C# has some crashes that occur in very specific situations, but I don't want to risk my game not working because it's crashing, so GDScript it is. Can I describe my game idea? Sure. So the game is, the theme is delivery, and you're a knight who has to knock out all of these demons by punching them up into the air and smacking them into the ground, and then you're gonna have to pick them up and deliver them into hell. So that's kind of what's going on. I think separate areas for each piece is okay. Yeah, it should be fine. We don't need no architecture. We don't. Hello, Drufus. Yes, it should be a very fun live stream. Yeah, I'm the same way as Ijin. It's like, oh, I could spend 15 minutes just doing this quick, or I could spend an hour doing it the right way. And I always end up doing it the hour-long way. All right, so I really need to figure out I wonder if I should just simplify it. Like, I wonder if carrying the enemies is even, like, worthwhile. Or if it should all just be, like, punch-based, you know? Maybe I'm adding too much complexity to it. Maybe I should just say, I'm just gonna lean into the fact that you're gonna be airborne and punching things. And say that that's going to be what the entire gameplay revolves around. Because carrying enemies is adding a ton of complexity, and I'm not even sure that it's going to be adding much to the gameplay anyway. So I'm kind of tempted just to say, when you knock out enemies, perhaps they just lay on the ground for a couple seconds and then get back up. So there's not really any enemy health or damage. It's mostly just knocking them out as a way of controlling them, so that way you can get them closer to the pit. I think I should probably do that. What do you think? You could just zero in on punching. Well, there we go. Yeah. There we go. Hello, Frizzy. You could do a lot with that. You could honestly make a whole game out of carrying enemies. I agree with that assessment. Okay. Yeah, so let's cut out the carrying then. That's going to be great. It'll cause me to focus on the main gameplay mechanic, and it will reduce the complexity of the game, which is going to be good for development. So, all right then. I'm glad that we figured that out. Thank you for brainstorming with me. I'm going to remove this nasty pickup input now. State knockout. So the knockout state is still going to be good. We're going to get rid of this state carrying. Deleting code. It sounds counterintuitive, but deleting code is much more satisfying than writing it. Okay, so no carry state, no carry state. So that means we still need to work on the major, the pit mechanic, right? So let's modify this map a little bit. And let's just create... Let's just create a pit in the middle, I guess. Like so. I am going to have to prevent the demons from falling into the pit. Oh, could add an also. I guess that's another interesting mechanic, right? Can goodbye. That's so yeah, if you fall in the pit yourself, that's not going to be good. Probably give the player like a double jump or something to help avoid that, but let's just go ahead and add another tile just so it's easier to get across. Oh, gonna have to add coyote time as well, it looks like. See ya. Okay, all right, there's the pit. The game's done. Like and subscribe. I'm just kidding. Well, yeah, you can like and subscribe if you want, but we're not done. Okay, so we need to create, let's create a, Let's just call this pit, I guess. If the code isn't being used anymore, yeah, exactly. I just think knocking enemies into pits is very visceral. Yes, that's the goal, is we're gonna add hit stop, we're gonna add flashy particles, we're gonna add screen shake, we're just gonna make it feel juicy and squishy. And hopefully it's good. Hello, Cyber Potato. Thanks for your course on Udemy. I learned a lot and decided to switch from Unity to Godot. Excellent. The Godot cult grows. No, but thank you. I appreciate you telling me that, and I'm glad it helped. And hope you have fun with Godot. Full game is paid DLC. Looking at you, Ubisoft. Shots fired. Okay, so let's do a collision shape or area 2D. Right? We're gonna save this as pit. Okay. So the area, I guess I can just kind of make this area arbitrarily big since it's going to be under the ground anyway. So collision shape, let's see. New rectangle shape. Let's do 16 times 10 maybe. And then oops. So there's a pit. Let's turn on the the grid. So there's our little pit there. Okay. And what is this going to detect? So we can probably just detect the bodies going into it. So this body is on what layer? Layer, I think I could probably use enemy hurt box for that. And then the pit, the mask will look for the enemy hurt box. Okay, let's add a script. Area 2D dot area body entered dot connect on body entered. Okay, and then let's create that function. On body entered, so is this a physics body 2D? Yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say body.queue_free for now. And we might as well, let's keep track. So var experience equals 0, xp plus equals 1. And then let's just print the XP so that we can see that that's working. Should work. I think 100% guaranteed this code is going to work, but let's try it anyway. Okay. That pit ate him. That's 1. And so, yeah, it's working for sure. 2. All right. So it's like a demon basketball kind of, I guess. Gonna be interesting. Maybe I should add other platforms and stuff. Or maybe I should make the player run a little bit faster. Let's bump up the max speed in the X direction. Jump up gravity mod. I'm gonna modify that just a little bit. Okay. Maybe I change this back. Yeah, I can see it taking shape. I'm gonna need to think about what exactly to do here. Maybe I can add a dash for the player so getting over the pit is easier. I definitely need to add coyote time. Maybe I can make it so that you get a certain number of points based on... Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to think about the... I have to think about the formula a little bit more, the gameplay formula. Goodbye. Goodbye. Also, figure out what the lose condition is, right? Like, what the player... I'm sure there's going to be, like, enemy abilities and stuff that the player's going to have to dodge. So, I need to... Yeah, I just need to figure all that out. But I think leaning into the punching is a good call. I will say my Godot indoctrination attempt from this past game jam wasn't super successful. I mean, it's hard to know how good Godot is if you don't know game development in general, right? Like, there's no perspective there. YouTube just recommended your live, and I love your channel. Thank you, Frizzy. Appreciate it. My friend who's used to Unity found a lot of random quirks frustrating. Yeah, I can see that. Needing to use exports to get references. Yep, yeah. Hey Bruno, love your content, always focused on design patterns and good practices. Learning a lot with your videos, and we'll take your course soon. Thanks, Bruno. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Demon basketball is a great descriptor, yes. There's a somewhat reputable and popular weekly German YouTube show about video games, and they feature more and more Godot games. Latest one from yesterday, Cassette Beasts. Interesting. I have to check that out. I haven't heard of it. There's a Mischief Makers feeling to the game, your gameplay. I don't know what Mischief Makers is, but I'm assuming that's a compliment. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I will. I have to check out, so Cassette Beasts and Mischief Makers. I'm going to write that down so I can check that out later. So Mischief Makers and Cassette Beasts. Okay. We're all having fun, though. We're all having fun. All right, what's the next thing that I should do? So, I have a bunch of big things that I still need to figure out. I need to figure out what the lose condition is for the player. Probably going to have some kind of player health, but not sure. Need to figure out like what the goal of the game is. If I want to do the Vampire Survivors kind of formula where, you know, it's 5 minutes and you try to level up as much as possible and survive by putting enemies in the pit and collecting upgrades. I mean, I kind of just want to, maybe I should just focus on the feeling of the combat and then figure out what the overall game wrapping is going to be like. Maybe I just need to figure that out. Of course, the enemies need some AI and animations. Once they have AI and animations, that's going to be great. I just want to see what this looks like visually, so I'm going to start adding some particles and stuff and just get a feel for what it's going to feel like with hit stop and all that good stuff. So let's try that. So let's add some hit stop first. So let's create a new scene. Node. I guess this doesn't need to be a node, but we're going to create a hit stop manager. I'm going to create a new folder called auto load. Throw that in there. Okay, so we've got the hit stop manager, func, hit stop, and then what are we going to do? We're going to say, so first of all, this pause mode, should I actually use pausing? Well, anyway, so we're going to say get tree dot set dot paused is equal to true. Then we're going to do await get tree dot create timer. And let's do 0.05 seconds. Process always is true. I guess that's true by default, so I don't need to do that. Then we're going to say get tree dot paused equals false. So very simple. We're just going to pause the scene tree for a 20th of a second when calling this hit stop. So player so the daemon here on punch area entered. Well, first I need to add this as an auto load. So let's go ahead and go to scenes, auto load, hit stop manager, add. So on punch area entered, we're going to say hit stop manager dot hit stop. All right, let's see what that does. That did not do anything. Let's make it a little bit more pronounced. Let's do half a second. Okay, so it's not working. Why isn't it working? Let's print yo. Okay, this isn't working. Did I do something wrong already? It's like the simplest auto load of all time and it's not working. What in the heck? I'm not supposed to add a class name, am I? I don't think so. Yeah, class hit stop manager hides auto load singleton. Well, shucks. Let's go ahead and add just the script then. What am I, oh wait. Did I put it in the wrong one? Hold on a second. I think I know what I did wrong. Let's put this back. I think I just put this in the wrong, yeah, I put that in the wrong place. This needs to be on uppercut area entered. Gotcha. Okay, ID10T error. Is it still not working? Okay, so it's still not working. Did I do it wrong again? Okay, so that's printing yo. It's just the pause isn't working for some reason. Now, why isn't that working? Create timer 0.5. Huh. Mischief Makers is an N64 game made by Treasure. Okay. Cassette Beast is also the latest featured showcase on the official Godot engine blog. Oh, okay. Someone linked your video on composition in a comment on my video and found it really helpful. Caught you live and wanted to share that with you. Well, thank you, Cupid Makes Games. Appreciate it. I'm glad that you found that video helpful. So get tree paused equals true. Get tree create timer. Oh, I have to await the timeout. I'm surprised that doesn't give me an error. Did it give me an error? The await keyword is not needed in this case. Yeah, okay. So if I had paid attention to the warnings, it would have been fine, okay? Okay, there we go. So you can see that it's pausing now. Let's put it to 0.05. Okay, it's very subtle. I don't know if you can tell on the video. I don't know if you can tell on the stream, but it definitely adds a little bit of feeling. Yeah. Okay, we'll leave it at that for now. It's kind of fun to just punch these guys around. All right. Let's add some particle effects and whatnot. So I'll do my favorite thing, which is to just create some various animation frames for the particle system. So view, grid settings, 8:8. And I actually need white here. Okay. So, and then I just paint some globs. That's probably all right. Yeah, I don't need to worry about it too much. I think this is okay. Okay, we'll create a new folder here. Particles.png. All right, so let's create some punch particles, I guess. So new scene. So new scene, 2D scene. Punch particles, we're going to add a GPU particles 2D to that. We need to create a new canvas item material with particles animation, with particles animation enabled. And there's 3 H frames. We're going to put this into effect. Okay, and then we need to put the texture in there. Put the texture right there, and then create this particles process material. Scroll down, it takes forever to set this up, and then offset max 1. Okay, so now we've got a random image from that particles sheet being chosen for the particles. So this, let's turn it up to like 20, and then we're going to turn the lifetime way down to like 0.3. And then the explosiveness, 0.9. And then let's create the scale curve. Started at 0, go up to 1, and then fade out. We're also going to turn off the interpolation here. Okay. And then the direction. What do we want the direction to be? Well, let me think. So the uppercut, I guess it'll be in the up direction. I might have to change this depending on how this turns out, but turn the gravity off. Yeah, we'll just see how something like that goes. I mean, it's probably too much, but yeah, we'll just see how this looks. Change the angles, change the angular velocity. Okay, We'll turn off emitting. We'll turn on one shot. I like to use an animation player for this too. Some people say this is too heavy, but I just like to use an animation player. Can make the particles self-cleaning up. So set your particles to one shot. Add a property track for emitting. Turn this on and make sure you have autoplay on here. And then what you can do is you can also add a call method track on the root node. And at the end, call queueFree. Oops, not queueRedraw, queueFree. So now you have a situation where as soon as you add this node to the tree, these particles, it will automatically play and then it will clean itself up. So no code required whatsoever. And then I'm going to use a resource preloader here. I don't think I use these for its intended purpose. I usually just use this as a collection of scenes that I need to reference. So punch particles, for instance. And actually, I don't know if this should go, this probably shouldn't go in here. It should probably go in the enemy. Yeah, getting the exact point of contact is going to be probably not very easy, so I'm going to try not to do that. So we're going to grab a reference to that resource preloader. And then on uppercut area entered, we're going to say var particles is equal to resource preloader dot get resource punch particles dot instantiate as node 2D. And then we're going to say add sibling particles dot global position is equal to global position. All right, let's see if that works. Okay, so it does work, but those particles are not very good. Okay, so good to know. We're gonna have to play with this some more. So I think these probably need to be circular. So we'll make it a radius. We'll do the spread to 180. And then we probably want the scale to be like humongous. Humongous. And probably even have a lower lifetime than what I've chosen here. And let's see, let's turn up the initial velocity as well. Okay, all right, we're getting there. Let's see what that does. Okay, it might be too many particles. Let's turn it down to 10. Okay, that's looking more respectable. I think what I need to do is probably just center those particles more, so it's not like at the enemy's foot. Yeah. Maybe angle them in the proper direction. There's some work to do here. Whoa, the face reveal. Yes, here I am, Trayson. Bear witness. I just watched Mad Max Fury Road a couple weeks ago, so that's what came into my head. Just took the time to watch the said video on composition, one of the best tutorials on Godot game dev. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate that. Haven't used particles in the animation player yet. Watching the master at work. I much prefer the animation player to like animated sprites personally. Yeah, I do too, but mostly just because I don't want to have to draw all the frames for my animations. Like if you notice, my player here is just a cutout animation. I just find that it looks more complicated to do this, but I find this easier to do and more forgiving than doing frame by frame animation, because here it's like if I want to change the animation, I don't have to go in and redraw anything. I can just modify the keyframes. Of course, it gives you a totally different look, which may not match the style that you're going for. But for me, It's one of my favorite ways of, it's a cheap, easy way of animating. I tried out resource preloaders like you do and not a huge fan. Yeah, well, what I do is I created extension methods for it in C# for the resource preloader. So what I can do is I can say resource preloader.instance scene or null. And then what it does is it uses the class name automatically as the string that it uses to look up in the resource preloader. So I just supply the type that I want to instance into like the generic parameter, into the generic brackets. And then it finds that scene, instances it as that type and returns it. So it ends up being a lot nicer. I don't like using export variables for it because if I need like 5 scenes that I need to instance, then that takes up a huge chunk of the inspector. But it's, you know, it's personal preference. Whatever allows you to work more efficiently is what you should do for sure. Isn't using things in unintended ways how most games are developed? Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, one of the reasons I like using C# and Godot is because then you can just create a whole ton of extension methods for all the rote things that you do. Like I created extension methods for raycasting. Like Unity's raycasting is a lot nicer because it's more compact and it returns everything to you in a nice object. So I created an extension method that does that in Godot too. I can call it raycast with just a couple arguments and then it returns an object with all of the parameters inside of it. So yeah, that's one big reason why you'd want to use C# is for the extension methods that you can create. All right, what am I doing? Let's create a marker here. Yeah, let's create a marker. And we're going to put it here. We're going to call this center position, or I guess we could call it center marker. And we're going to mark this as a unique name. Let's grab that. So onReady var center marker is equal to... Does this automatically detect the type? I wonder. Oh, it does. Okay, so I probably don't even need all of these type specifications. Oh well. All right, let's see if... Okay, so kind of getting there a little bit. I'm going to turn down the particles even more, but I'm also going to change the direction. It is -1, so maybe I don't want... Why is that not working? That doesn't seem like it's working. I wonder if I just need to make the... Do I just need to make the particles move faster even? Oh, you know what's happening? I think that hit stop is being affected by the engine time scale. Is there a way to ignore that? Wait, I saw something. Yes, here we go. Ignore time scale true. Yes, okay, I think that was throwing me off. Okay, perfect, yeah. So that 0.05 seconds was actually becoming something like 0.1 seconds because of the time scale. I think those particles need to be even bigger. Like they're not exaggerated enough. I'm being way too conservative here. These things need to go like big. Go big or go home, and they need to go faster. Okay, that might be too much. That might be too much. I think maybe the speed is okay. I think just maybe the scale needs to go back down. Probably add a couple more particles too. And then we need to rotate. So I wonder if I should actually change this so that the direction is going to the right instead of up, and then I can rotate the particles in the direction that I need them to go. Let's see if that works. So particles dot rotation is equal to rad to deg, or deg to rad rather. 90. Okay, is that gonna work? I went the wrong way, but that's all right. Go up instead. Hello, Crazy Ed. The raycast method, yeah, you can check out my GitHub, which is just Firebelly. There's a Godot utilities repository that has all these things that I'm talking about in it. It's got a series of extension methods as well as source generators for making the retrieval of nodes easier. So you could check that out if you're interested. How are you doing, Crazy Ed? GDScript 2.0 did improve by a lot. Yeah. Yeah, there's still a lot of room to grow with that. Didn't know about the ignore timescale parameter. That simplifies a bunch of things. Yeah, I'm glad that it's there because I wouldn't have known how to fix it otherwise. All right, so let's then take this particles, this punch particles, and let's put it in the punch as well. Punch particles, instantiate particles global position. Basically just a copy paste here, but this rotation now is going to be, well, it's going to be the center marker dot global position minus the other area global position, and then this is going to be dot angle. All right. Okay, so kind of getting there. Is that not working? It doesn't appear to be working. Center marker global position minus other area. Do I have a warning or something? Oh. No, that should be fine. Center marker global position minus other area global position. That should be fine. Why is it not rotating? Do I need to change something with the particles? Let's see. Should be using local coordinates. Where even is that? Local chords, yeah, maybe that's what I need to do. Okay. Or maybe it shouldn't be that. Maybe it should be, yeah, oh, I have the direction already. I don't need to do that. Direction.angle. So whatever direction he goes flying in. Yeah, I gotta do some research into other games and see like what the impact effects look like, because there's more that I'm gonna do here. I just need to figure out exactly what that's gonna look like. Need to get the enemies moving too. I think these particles, I mean, they're probably okay for now. What I really need is like a wind-up animation that really sells the impact, as well as screen shake. I bet you if I added some screen shake right now, it would become a lot better. So let's do that. So, yeah, I don't even know how to do that. I might just hack this with my super hackor's ability and just say shake camera. And then what I'll do is I'll say var camera equals get first node get tree dot get first node and group, and we're gonna say shaky camera, and we're gonna say if camera is not equal to null, gotta be safe and everything, you know. Camera dot shake. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to do this. So let's see. Game camera. So the shaky camera is actually an add-on that I made for the purpose of doing screen shake easier. So the shaky camera, it has a shake noise, and then it has a bunch of parameters here that you can use to control the shake behavior. And then there's a method in here called shake with a %. So basically what I'm gonna do, oops, I didn't mean to close that. Can I reopen? So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add this to the group shaky camera, and then from the hit stop auto load, I'll be able to call shake camera, and then I can call camera.shake. There. And so now in the daemon here, what I can do is I can say hit stop manager dot shake camera, and then same here. And I don't know if the default settings are going to be okay, so we're going to see. Oops. So there's a little bit of screen shake. I don't know if you can see it that well. It's a little bit too violent and a little bit too quick, so I just need to tone those things down a little bit. Also, it appears to be using the engine timescale, which actually might be okay. We'll figure it out. Let's see. I checked out your node retrieval plugin, hadn't checked out the others, so I will definitely be looking. Okay, yeah, you should definitely check it out. Digging it up your old project and making it build properly. Oh yeah, that must be a nightmare, huh? Those old projects, for some reason, they have a tendency to become completely unmaintainable. It's weird how that happens. And here I am making asteroids in Godot, and it takes me days for it. That's part of learning, yeah. When I started doing game dev, it would take me hours upon hours upon hours just to do the simplest things. So, you'll get there. Why do I have the state enum there? That's a good question. I don't think I need it. I was using a state, I was using that as my state variable earlier, but now I'm actually just using callables for the state. So yeah, good call. I don't need that. Love your latest Udemy course. Thank you, Marcus. I appreciate that. YouTube chat discarded my whole comment, but not the emoji. Oh, is my YouTube chat thing broken now? The YouTube chat thing just doesn't work sometimes. Why is that broken? That's unfortunate. You can see it flickering. All right, I guess. YouTube chat's gone for this video, sorry. I think Stefan broke it. Screen shake is very perfect, yes. How do you get that not equal sign? That confuses the hell out of me. It's called font ligatures. So I'm using Cascadia Code, which is Microsoft's font. And ligatures are basically when two characters are combined into looking like one single character. I like the way that that looks, so I have ligatures enabled. The YouTube chat is just completely broken. I don't know why things just don't work. It's 2023, we've had streaming forever and like stuff just doesn't work. Oh, I'm talking about the YouTube chat in the on the stream. There's a big blank space right there where the chat is supposed to be, but it's not there. Let's see. Arlen, thank you so much. Appreciate that. The comment was either discarded by the YouTube chat widget or my fat fingers. Okay, well, maybe I should just figure out a different layout for the stream that doesn't use YouTube chat because it doesn't work half the time. All right, anyway, so back to this. What were we doing? Oh yeah, I got to change the shaky camera parameters here. So let's see. I guess before we continue, for everyone watching, you can wishlist Gunforged on Steam. The link is in the description below. I'm currently working, well, not currently, but I'm in the process of creating another devlog for that, so that will be available soon for you all to enjoy. So subscribe if you haven't, and also check out my Udemy course. The link for that is in the description as well. All right. So shaky camera, we're going to change the max shake offset to 12. Let's increase the frequency multiplier to 200, and let's see if that works. Also, this fast noise light, maybe something like that. Maybe the frequency shake decay. What happens if I turn that to 1? Okay, so I actually think maybe the shake offset needs to go up and the shake decay can stay at 5. Okay, that's probably too much shake, so maybe 20 is fine. Frequency multiplier, does this need to go like way up to 500? I wonder, let's see. Can I tell it to ignore the engine time scale here? Let's see. I'm just trying to figure out if there's a way. It looks like there's not going to be a way to change the engine or ignore the engine time scale on a node by node basis. So I may have to come up with a hack for that. I can't really tell if that screen shake is good or not. I think it's just a little bit too subtle. So how am I going to increase that? I guess just bump up the shake offset a little bit. I don't know if this frequency multiplier needs to be that high either. Okay. I don't know how well you can see that on stream. The part of the problem is that there's not much in the environment to tell you that the camera is shaking. And so I think that's making the camera shake seem a little bit more subtle than it actually is. But I think that seems okay. Now I'm wondering if I should make the jump just a jump and make the right click make the right click do the uppercut into the air. Because the problem is that you can just like jump like this and then just immediately smack them. But I don't necessarily want that to happen, and so what I might do is like right click makes you do a fully charged jump. So that's how you send things into the air, but otherwise you can jump just to dodge something. Okay. All right. We are getting places. We are getting places. Let's get rid of these nasty comments. Comments better beware. I'm gonna absolutely gut them from the code base. Okay. So start working on punch effects. There's no, you scared me for a bit. There's no add to wish list option, but it says remove from wish list. That's okay. You can just leave it like that. That's fine. Okay. So I need to take like a 1 or 2 minute break here, and then we'll be back to figure out what we're doing next. Maybe give the enemy some very basic AI. So stick around for that. But yeah, in the meantime, you can go sign up for my newsletter, check out my links in the description, and I'll be right back in about 2 minutes. Oops, wrong button. I'm back. Where is the newsletter sign up? It's at firebelly.com. I believe that link to firebelly.com is in the description, but maybe I should make that a little bit more apparent. So, let's see. Is YouTube chat gonna work? Nope. All right, so let's get some basic enemy behaviors in here. All right then. So let's go to the demon. I'm gonna close other tabs here. So how are we gonna do this? How are we going to do this? So first we need to ask the question, like, what do I even want the enemies to do? I'm thinking something simple and arcadey, you know, like the old style games where, you know, the enemies just shoot a projectile and it just kind of like floats across the map or across the level. I think something like that would probably be okay. So the player's going to be jumping mostly to dodge things. Maybe some kind of melee attack would also be all right. You know, it'd be really funny is if the enemies were trying to get you into the pit as well. That would be very funny, I think. Not sure how doable that is. Might be easier just to do health and whatnot. But for now, let's just get them to patrol. So just walk back and forth or walk toward the player. Yeah, I actually don't know. I don't know how this is going to work. Anyone have any ideas for what the enemies can do? Okay. The cat. I can't hold you right now. I think just getting them to patrol is going to be the best thing to do here. All right, so let's see. Let's get a direction going here. So what I could do is I need to decide if my game is going to be just completely flat, like it is right here, where it's basically just enemies are coming in from all sides. Because if that's the case, then what I can do is I can create a little area right here that's just an area that the enemies can do ray casts against. And the reason I would need that is because obviously if an enemy's on that platform over here, he shouldn't try to come at me because there's a gap. Now, alternatively, I can try to make the enemies jump across the gap. That is a little bit difficult, but might be possible. Yeah, there's a lot of tough decisions I need to make here. Maybe I'll just try to make the enemies jump. Let's go big or go home, you know what I'm saying? The enemies could blow you from the platform with their demon breath. Yeah. All right, let's do this. So let's get the direction that we want to go. So var x direction is equal to global position dot x is greater than, let's grab the player. So player is equal to get tree dot get first node in group player. If player equals null, x direction is equal to 0, I guess. If player is equal to null or not equal to null, then our x direction is going to be equal to 1 or -1 if global position.x is greater than player.global position.x, else 1. Is that right? Let's see. Oh, -1 if. So, x direction will be to the left if we are to the right of the player. Otherwise, it'll be to the right. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to say velocity.x. So we need a max speed here. So we're going to say const walk speed. Let's set it to 100. So we're going to take this velocity x, we're going to lerp from our velocity x to our x direction times walk speed. And then we'll do that, move and slide. And okay, let's see if that works. It did not work. Cannot convert argument 2 from int to nil. So this is something that we'll probably run into with Godot. It's a very esoteric error. If you see this, invalid type in utility function lerp cannot convert argument 2 from int to nil. That means that Godot is interpreting one of your numbers as an integer, and that shouldn't happen. So one way you can fix that is just by adding a .0, like so, to your variable, and that automatically makes it a float. Alternatively, I think you can do this, where you can specify it as a float specifically, and then set it to 0. So that's something that you need to be careful of, and it might even be wrong here. So, but I'll go ahead and see. Yeah, so I probably have to do this as well. -1.0 and 1.0. And there they go, plunging to their deaths. All right. So that walk speed is obviously too fast. So now the tricky part is going to get them to jump. So what is a way that we can get them to jump? Well, let's go to our handy paint and let's get this drawn up here. So let's say that I have, this is my platform, my pit here. So what is a way that you can get him to jump? Well, if my guy is here, or the demon rather is here, and he's going this direction, what you can do is you can try to check below him, right? And so once he gets to the edge, you can say, oh, well, there's nothing below him, so jump. Or what you could do for a little bit of look ahead is you can check at a diagonal, right? So if I say check along this diagonal if there's a collision, maybe at the end point, right? Is there a collision at the end point? So right at the end here. That means that he's still well within the land, right? But if he then moves to the edge, so like on this side, and I do a check and I say from here to here, I can say, well, there's not a collision there, so start jumping. So in this case, I think it might be enough to just stick like a raycast at the very front of him, so that as soon as the front part of him is overhanging an edge, he knows that he needs to jump in that direction. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I could do 2 areas too. Yeah, I could do that. The raycast method is a little bit more it's a little bit more generic. So that way if I introduced another pit, it would just automatically work. Although I guess I could just use more areas. Either way works fine. Either way works fine. So I think actually I said I would use a single raycast, but I think what I'll do is I might just use 2 raycasts, checking both sides. So it's raycast 2D. Target position. I can make this like a couple 5 long or something. Yeah, that should be fine. And then we want to check the terrain. So we'll use that. I'm going to put these in their own node here. So in here, I'm going to create a new function. So check raycasts for each. Well, for each is not a thing in GDScript, is it? For raycast in raycasts.getChildren. Goodness. Is there a, there's like a way force. Oh. So raycast as raycast 2D. Force raycast update. So that's what I want. So I'm just going to cheat a little bit here. Type this. R dot is colliding. So if not R is colliding, we're going to return I'm going to rename this to is over edge and return true. Otherwise, return false. So basically, as soon as one raycast returns true, we're going to return. As soon as one raycast is not colliding, we're going to return true. Otherwise, we'll return false. And then in my state normal here, what I can do is I can say if is over edge. We need to set jumping. I'm just going to fake this for now by doing velocity dot y is minus equals. Yeah, I'm just going to do this. Let's see if that works. Why not? Oh, goodbye. Well, let's do an extra check. Is on floor. Where are you guys going? Okay, well, the jump works. Why did they jump up at the start, though? What in the heck? Do I need to change these raycasts? Why are you guys doing that? Okay. Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, that was funny. Where are you guys going? Oh, one problem is that. Oh boy. I don't know why they're jumping up at the very start. That should definitely not be happening. Is it because they're in the floor? Do they need to be like up a little bit? Yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. Okay. So that's kind of unfortunate. That's also very annoying. Unfortunate, annoying, all of the above. It looks like I'm like 2 pixels above the floor, which ain't no good. I wonder if that's because of the collision safe margin here. So I'm going to turn this all the way down. Interesting. If I change it to 1 pixel. Yeah, I don't know why that's happening. I guess what I should do is just either change the collision area here to move it up 1 pixel so they sink into the ground a little bit more. And that means I need to move the ray casts as well. Yeah, that looks much nicer. So that means that the player, I have to do the same thing. That's odd. Why would it be 1 pixel off? In any case. So that's kind of working. Obviously, they're jumping a little bit too high. So let's change that. They're not moving fast enough to really clear the gap that well either. So I might have to change their gravity specifically. Otherwise, they'll just fall right in. Yeah, so their airborne gravity needs to be different than their jump gravity, I think. Let's turn down their gravity. Let's see what happens. That affects like everything about how they fly around, okay. So I guess what I could do to cheat is I could increase their walk speed as well when they jump. So I could say velocity.y minus equals 200 as well as doing velocity.x times equals 2. Now, did that actually work? If they're in the airborne state, I'm not doing any sort of deceleration in the X, so that should be fine. Maybe I should just bump that up to 3. Pay no attention to the spaghetti code. Oh, and they can still jump when they're knocked out? Wait a minute, that's not right. Why are you following me? You're dead. Oh, he's jumping. Oh, it's the mysterious case of the jumping dead demon. If you're knocked out, you shouldn't be in the normal state. Oh, because you go from airborne state. Ah. Yeah, there's some. So what's happening is that if I knock a knocked out guy in the air, he changes into the airborne state. But I think he probably needs to change into the punched state. Right? There's a lot of weird stuff happening. There's a lot of weird stuff happening. Now, question is, I could punch them right over. Oh! So that's going to take some skill if you want to get away with that. I guess you could just do that over and over and over again. All right, let's see. Unfortunately, my internet connection is acting up. I wish you the best of luck and have a good rest of the stream. Thank you, Stefan. Thanks for hanging around. Maybe have a look with debug collisions visible. Oh, that was old. Yeah, figured it out. Reason why it looks like the sprites were floating 1 pixel above the ground is because the sprites have a 1 pixel black border below their feet. Well, yes, that is true, but you can see here. See that gap? So that gap does not exist in the tile map. So if I look at the tiles, see, there's no black border at the top of the tiles. So that means that if there's a 1 pixel black border below their feet, that should be all that there is, right? It should be like this by default, but when I align the collision shape perfectly with it, it offsets it an additional 1 pixel. So that's why I was confused. Are they going to wake up after being knocked out? Yes. So they'll be knocked out, which is like a stunned state. They'll have like little birds or whatever flying around them for probably like 5 seconds or so. And then they'll get back up. So there's a lot to do here. I don't know exactly how I'm going to nail that combat feeling. I just don't know exactly how that's going to happen. I have all day still to do this, though. I don't want them to be bunched up either. I don't like that. Body slam demons. Okay, so what I want to do is let's get a constant stream of them spawning. Oh, come on. It's very hard to aim this, which is probably a bad thing. There we go. Let's get a constant stream of them. So let's create a new scene. Demon spawner. In this case, I will use... Oh, nope. I want to do this. Let's call it spawner. Hacky sack with demons. That's kind of what it is. Arriving from gates or teleporting from Enterprise. I think I'm just going to have them like crawl out of the ground. Bless you. Let's create a tool script for this. So how do I do this? At tool. So on the ready method, I'm going to say set physics process engine dot is editor hint. This is my cheap way of updating the visuals. You'll see. So okay, so I'm going to create an export variable, export var float, or not var float, export var vector2 extents, vector2. Okay, get rect, return. I guess we'll use the, do I want to do this? Maybe I'm making this too fancy. Could be making this too fancy, but we'll see. Draw rect. And then what color? Color dot red. Oh, that's cool. Filled bool true. Okay. So now if I put in the extents, I should see... Oh, I'm not seeing it. Okay, so apparently it didn't work. It's supposed to be drawing a rectangle. Oh, there it goes. So that's 2 pixels by 2 pixels. So what I can do here is I can say, let's just make it like a 1. Okay, let's make this. We'll give it a default value so it's a little bit nicer. Okay, so there we go. There's our spawner. And the way that I'm going to be using this is essentially we instantiate a spawner, and then I can do this, right? I can set it like this, and I can say, okay, move my extents up. Wow, I should have just typed it. There we go. So I can move my extents like that, so 112, and then I can put this over here as well. It's a really nice way of defining an area that you can, that's variable, right? So there's the extents for the spawners. And then what I can do is, now I got to define export var scene. Now, I don't know if I should put the spawning logic in here exactly, or if I should control the spawning logic from elsewhere. But the point is that, you know, if I can call get rect here and spawn something. So spawn, we'll just call it spawn, and then I could say get rect so I think let's create another function. Get random spawn point. And then what is this going to do? This is going to say var position is equal to global position. Position plus equals get rect. So I need to use RNG here. So rand f range from 0 to get rect dot size dot x. I guess it doesn't really need to be a rectangle, but like so, and then return position. Okay, and then I can say var position up here is equal to get random spawn point. Var instance is equal to scene dot instantiate, and of course we can do this if scene is equal to null. We'll return out of that. Okay, then we're going to say add sibling instance dot global position is equal to position, and that's basically it. So pretty straightforward. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a timer real quick just for testing purposes. Auto start, wait time 1 second. Let's do 2 seconds. timer.timeout.connect. On timer timeout, we're going to call spawn. And then we'll go into my main here and we'll assign the demon to both of those spawners. It crashed. Okay. Basic spawning is in place now. It's very rough. There needs to be an animation done for it, obviously, but now I have an infinite stream of enemies to play with, which is going to further give me an idea of... this is going to be a lot of work. There's some bugs too. Sometimes it gets stuck in the slow-mo mode. Don't mess with me ever again, demons. Oh. Maybe if I can find like a nice liquid shader or something, I'll make the pit like a lava pit or something. That would be cool. It's pretty fun just to like knock them around. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm just kind of like playing around with it. I'm trying to imagine the future state. Because right now, it's not much of anything. There's a lot of jankiness. It's hard to see through the jank to see what the final game will be. Any ideas? Any feedback? Yeah, it is a nice trick, Sneaky. Yeah. Thought you need to reduce the spawn area by pixel width of monster from one side for sure. Oh, perhaps, yeah. I just left a gap around the side. Feels like demon basketball. Yeah. Yeah, it's basically how it is. Mike's, yes. I don't know how you can do a reveal again. But yes, I'm here. Any feedback, anyone, on what you see here? Am I going in a good direction? Can you see this being fun? Any gameplay ideas? Art, feedback, anything? I'm all ears. And also, I'm going to reject all of your feedback anyway. I'm just kidding. Maybe they should run towards something instead of the player, and your goal is to stop them. That's an interesting idea. So like a Dungeon Defender style kind of deal. That was kind of, I don't want to be too similar to, I made a game called Egg Hero for a previous Ludum Dare. And that game was like you punch things and you protect an egg. So I don't want to do that necessarily. Because in that game, your player didn't have health. So it was like the egg had health. And your goal was to protect it. In this game, it's kind of more like a Vampire Survivors is kind of what I'm thinking is like the enemies are all out to get you. But in this case, the only way to kill the enemies is to get them in the pit. So your ability to defend yourself is contingent upon your ability to knock as many enemies into the pit as possible, and then also have that be sort of the way that you level up and get upgrades. I don't even know what the theme is. The theme is delivery, so we're delivering demons back to hell. If you have enough time, add flying demons as well. I am going to do that, yes. So Marcelo, that's a good idea. Having flying demons that can only be killed, well, not only be, but that can be killed by launching other demons at them is going to be really great. How do they damage the player? I'm going to have them probably shoot projectiles. So there will just be projectiles that come across the level like this, and you'll just have to like jump over them, kind of like a classic platformer. So portal then or lava pit? Yes, yes. So the enemies are going to hurt you if you don't punch them out. Yes, kind of. I like the emergent gameplay of piling stunned enemies and throwing them together. Yeah, that's a nice little side effect, for sure. Oops. I'm gonna get rid of this print statement here. Actually, don't need any of this here. So launch demon, flying one, and knock him out temporarily. Exactly, yeah. Enemies could stand up after a while when not hit by you or other thrown demons. Yeah, let's actually do that right now because that's something that is going to be a good gameplay element. So in the state knockout, I kind of wish I was using C# for this now because I have a really nice, state machine implementation. Should we take a couple minutes and like write a proper state machine implementation for what is this called? GD script? Should we do it? Let's do it. I'm gonna write a state machine implementation that is roughly similar to the one that I wrote for C#. I think it'll probably be a good learning experience for people. So let's do that. I think if the demons have the same goal as you, it could be fun. So not killing you, but trying to pull you down to hell. Yeah, that's kind of, we were talking about that earlier. It's just, I think that would add a lot of complexity in terms of the AI if the demons were trying to like knock you into the pit as well. Although we could do that, right? Instead of the player having health, it could be that when the projectiles hit you, it just knocks you back. And so you have to be really careful, especially when you're around the pit, of not getting hit. Now, the problem with that is that I don't know how to adjust the difficulty of that, because if you fall into the pit, that's like an instant death, right? Perhaps there's a health mechanism where you fall into the pit and then an angel catches you like a Mario, right? So you fall into let's say you have 3 health points. You fall into the pit, it subtracts 1 health point, but before you get eaten by the lava or melted by the lava, you actually get pulled out and dropped back into the map. So that could be a way of doing it. And so we could have it so that when the projectiles hit you, it just knocks you back, or, well, just kind of like that. Or like when a demon hits you or something. I think the difficulty comes from how much knockback things provide. Yeah. Sort of lives. Yeah, yeah. Or the pit is just a new level, a harder one. That's interesting. Fall and lose a life. Yeah, yeah. I'm going to think about that. That might actually be really fun because then you get the, as you are trying to get enemies into the pit, you, by the nature of doing that, have to get closer to the pit, which also increases the risk that you'll get knocked into the pit, right? So I feel like that's kind of interesting. It's like the difficulty dynamically changes based on how close you are to the pit. Because if you get hit, when you're farther away, you're just going to get knocked back, right? It's not going to do anything. Is it just the center pit that counts, or can you throw the demons off the sides too? I am going to probably patch up the sides so that it's just these. So let's actually do that real quick. Let's actually do that real quick. This is not going to be a very complex game at all in terms of the gameplay. So basically like this. I don't have tiles for that part. But kind of like a small little arena where you're kind of running back and forth and jumping over the pit. Now, the other thing that I need to think about is it's not entirely clear to me. Well, I guess that's fine. I was going to say, I don't know why you wouldn't just stay on one side and launch them like this. But I guess... I don't know, I guess there has to be an incentive to go across. I also need to put a cap on the number of enemies that are spawned. A lot of work to do, a lot of thinking and play testing and whatnot, experimentation. If there's projectiles coming from the enemies too, you're not really going to be able to stand in the same spot anyway. The point of the enemies attacking you is going to be because it forces you to move. And so once that's in place, I think I'll have a better idea of what's going on. I definitely think I want to make right-click the uppercut. That forces you to go to the max height. Goodbye, demons. Haha. Okay, let's write that state machine implementation real quick. First, I gotta bury the cats. Bury them in blankets, that is. Okay, let's write this state machine implementation. So, I'll probably move it to my add-ons library later, but let's just put it in here. New folder, scripts. Okay, let's create a new script. State machine. Let's call it a callable state machine. All right. So I've got a callable state machine. Var states is equal to just an empty dictionary. We're going to have this. So func add states. And the first state is going to be a callable normal. Am I doing this right? Did I just... I feel like I'm doing this wrong. That's like the C# way of doing it. Okay. So callable, enter, callable, and leave callable. Okay. Now, what am I doing? Let's see. The eyes on the demons shivers, yeah. Actually, let me get some water really quick. I'm parched. It'll only take like 30 seconds. BRB. All right, so we've got this add states function, and what's going to happen here is we're going to take the var normal name is equal to the normal callable dot get method dot get base name, I think. So that should give me a string if I'm not mistaken. Oh, maybe not. Oh, that's wrong. Wait. I'm not... So get method. What does this return? Okay, yeah. I just want to use get method. Okay. So we're going to say normal name equals get method, and we're going to say states normal name is equal to normal. Okay, then we're going to say if enter, if not enter is null. I'll explain how this is going to work in just a little bit. So states enter dot get method equals enter. I'm going to, yeah, let's simplify this. And then if not leave dot is null. States leave dot get method is equal to leave. Some kind of Mario Combat search, no YouTube about this game is kind of you try to do. Yeah, I can do some research on like Mario Combat. That's a good idea. Okay, so we've got add state. So what this is doing is this is adding a bunch of callables to this dictionary keyed by the method name. So the reason that that's useful is because when I do this, I'm going to say func change state. And then we're going to say toState callable. And so what's going to happen is I'm going to say if, let's do this, var state name is equal to toState dot get method. If states dot has key or just has state name, then what we're going to do is we're going to say we want to check the leave state. So actually this is wrong. So I need to do something different here. So states normal.get method is equal to a sub dictionary. And then what we're going to do, so let's do this, var normal name is equal to normal.get method. So we're going to set this normal name here to a sub dictionary. And then what we can do is we can do states normal and then in quotes normal is equal to normal. That's a lot of normals there. But basically, we've got the normal state under this name. So if I pass in as a callable state knockout, then what's going to happen is I'm going to end up with an object like this, where I have states. There's going to be a key state knockout. And then in here, the normal key is going to be some callable that points to that normal function. And then I'm going to also have a leave key that points to that callable that for the leave state, and then so on and so forth for enter, right? So the idea is that I have the normal state, the normal function, which is supposed to be called while you're on that state, the leave function, which is called when you're changing states, and the enter function, which is also called when you're changing states. But it's like if I leave the state knockout, then what's going to happen is it's going to call the leave state knockout first, and then it's going to call the enter function of the new state that I'm going to, so on and so forth, right? So that way I can handle the transitions between states. So that's what I'm doing here. So I'm saying, I'm setting up that subdictionary, and then in here what I can do is I can do, this should be normal name. Normal name. So states, normal name, and then this should just be enter, like so. And then states, normal name, leave equals leave. So now going back to this change state function, what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to say var change is equal to func, like so. This is a lambda function. And I'm going to put this logic into here. And the reason I'm doing this is because what's going to happen is I'm going to do this. I'm going to say change.callDeferred. So when I call change state in this class, it's going to apply the state change in a deferred manner, which means that all of the current state logic is going to finish before it does a transition. Because if you try to change state immediately while you're in the middle of another state, that can mess things up. So what I prefer to do is wait for the entire state logic to finish before changing. So that's what we're going to do here. So if states has state name, then what we're going to do is we're going to say if states state name dot has leave. Well, we gotta keep track of the current state as well. So current state callable, and we need to create a function called func set initial state. I might simplify this. I'm going to simplify this, and I'm just going to say if current state here is null, then I'm going to say current state, well, never mind. Once again, I try to be fancy and it's not going to work. So we're going to say set initial state, and we're going to pass in a callable. And then in here, I'm going to say if states dot has state dot get method, then I'm going to say change state to state so that it calls everything. I think that's fine. Okay, so this logic is getting a little bit tricky here. So if states has let's rename this to toStateName. So if we have that state that we're trying to go to, what we're going to do is we're going to take the current state. So if current state dot is null, if not current state is null, and states dot current state dot get method dot has leave, we're going to say current state name. Let's do this. If current state, hello? If current state dot is null, then we're going to do current state dot get method else null. Expected expression. Why is this not working? Sorry, I gotta figure out why this isn't working here. Oh, I gotta put the value first, okay. Okay, so what this is saying is grab the current state name if it's not null, otherwise make it null. So we're gonna say if current state name is not equal to null, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna say states current state name leave.call. Now we also need to make sure that we have that key. States current state name dot has leave. Okay. And then we need to basically do the same thing. So if we want to say if states to state name has enter, then we're going to do the same thing here. Enter.call. I guess I could do this, right? Okay, so this logic is a little bit not super clear, but I blame GD script. All right. And I think that's it. So I need to create another function called update. If not current state dot is null, then we're going to call current state dot call. All right, so let's review this logic again. So we're going to call add states in the onReady method, adding our normal state, our enter state, and our leave state. Those are getting pushed into this states dictionary, depending on if they're valid. And then I'm going to set these to a default value here. Okay, so once those are all configured, then when we call change state, we're going to get the state that we're changing to, and we're going to get the state that we currently have. If the state has the state that we're trying to go to, then we're going to check if the current state is valid, and we're going to call its leave function if it has one. And then if the new state has an enter function, we're going to call that one. And then we're going to set the current state here. And so I actually don't need this here. So only one way to see if this works. State machine will be a singleton. No, it will be just a class that we instance, or not a class, but you know. Is it called a class? I guess it is a class in GD script. Yeah, a class. So let's see if we can get this working for the daemon. So we're going to say var state machine is equal to callable state machine equals callable state machine dot new. So there's our callable state machine. Now here's how we use it in the ready method. State machine dot add states state normal. And then do we have a leave state normal? We don't. So we just do that. And then for here, we say state machine add states. We have a state punch, state airborne, state knockout. Okay, so let's add the state airborne. Okay, we're going to, for our enter state, we don't have one, so we're just going to pass in an empty callable. And then for the leave state, we have leave state airborne, like so. Okay, and then we've got another couple of states. So state machine add states, state punched. And then state machine dot add states, What's the other one? State knockout. So there's all of our states there. So now we need to set the initial state. So state machine dot set initial state state normal. Okay. So now in the process method here, what we do is we call state machine dot update, which will call the current state if it's not null. And then that should be it. So when we have this change state here, we need to replace that. So I'm going to get rid of this change state that I wrote, and instead we're going to do state machine. So you can see how this is nice because we don't need to define any extra state data. We're using the methods in the class themselves as the state. And this, see, we don't need this anymore. We just changed to the state knockout, and it's automatically going to call the enter and leave states as necessary. And we can verify that all of this is working. So leave state airborne, let's say print leave, and let's see what happens. So you can see that leave is being printed a bunch of times. Every time an enemy lands, that's what's happening. So I think that's pretty much working. I'm not super confident in it yet, so let's try to find another way to do it. Let's do this. Func enter state normal. We're going to change the visibility. So we're going to say visible equals false. And then for the state normal, we'll do func leave state normal. Visible equals true. So this is just to test it. So we'll do enter state normal and leave state normal, just like so. And let's see what happens. Okay, so you can see that you can only see the enemies when they turn into a different state. Cool. So there's a little bit of flickering, which I'm glad I did this because this set initial state probably shouldn't be calling deferred. So let's create another bool. Let's say immediate bool equals false. So we're going to say if not immediate, we're going to call it deferred. Otherwise, change.call. So in here, change state, and then we're going to say immediate is true. And so now that flickering should stop. Oh, I guess it didn't stop. Guess I'm a liar. Let's see if that works. So let's see. I'm gonna get rid of this print. In my callable state machine here, what I can do is I can call it immediate. I don't know why that's happening. So if it's being called immediately and they're invisible, then why is there a little bit of a flicker? Oh, maybe they're airborne for a brief moment in time as well. That might be it. It might be that they're in that state immediately, but they're switching back to airborne here. No, because move and slide should be... What if I do this? I'm curious. If I say my velocity dot y is equal to 500 on ready. Yeah, okay, I think the problem is that they are starting airborne. But anyway, the point is that it works. Okay, so anyway, that's working, and yeah, it's pretty easy. You just instantiate that callable state machine, and then go ahead and add your states, and then, yeah, I think this is a lot easier to reason about than some other state implementations because it's just all functions. And as long as you're naming your functions sensibly, it's pretty easy to see what's going on. Right, yeah, exactly, Bruno, exactly. Why don't I give the player a second jump only after they've hit an enemy in the air? I can do that, yeah. I gotta figure out what the gameplay is actually gonna be like here. Do you ever get frustrated that something is not working and you leave it? What are your thoughts so we don't get frustrated? Yeah, I mean, I think the best thing to do if you're frustrated is just to walk away and do something else. You'd be amazed at how taking like a half hour or hour break or sleeping on something can fix it. So if you're getting frustrated to the point where you're not being productive anymore, the most productive thing to do is actually to go and do something else. That would be what I would suggest. All right. Well, so that's the state machine. So I'm going to commit that. So, and yeah, speaking of taking a break, it's been a 3-hour stream. So I think I'm going to end it there for today, take a short break, and I'll continue probably not on stream in the evening. Lunch problems. Yeah, exactly. If you ever get frustrated, leave it. Don't do anything anymore that's related to that. Exactly, yeah. So cool. Well, I want to thank you all for hanging out with me. That was a lot of fun. Thanks for giving me ideas. Thanks for working through some of these problems with me. And hope you enjoyed it. If you're interested in learning Godot 4, you can check out my Udemy course. The link for that is in the description. And you can wishlist Gunforged on Steam. The demo for that is coming out soon. So make sure to wishlist it. And I'll see you in the next stream or the next video. All right. Goodbye, everyone.